Well, that was James Brokenshire, the Housing Minister, Communities Secretary of State there, followed by his shadow, John Healey. And with me now is Hannah Slater, who is the Policy and Public Affairs Manager for Generation Rent. How significant do you think these proposed changes are?
These changes are really, really significant. It means that private renters will have to be given a reason by their landlord if they are going to be removed from their home, which isn't currently the case. It means that we'll be able to, as private renters, we'll be able to plan our lives, because a house is not your home if you could have to go at any moment at your landlord's whim. And it also means that we'll have the confidence to ask for repairs in the home without fear of a revenge eviction. Does
this depend on the sort of rent contract you've got? The sort of lease you've got, because obviously there's short-term and long-term ones.
Currently, you can get a Section 21 notice after the fixed term of your contract has ended, and most contracts are typically 6 months or 12 months, which means you've only got 6 or 12 months security in your home. With these changes, it'll be open-ended, so you can stay in your home as long as you like and you're paying the rent and treating the property well, unless the landlord has a very good reason to evict you.
Well, that's the point. I mean, who's adjudicating this? I mean, if the landlord says, you know, I need you out for whatever reason because I need to sell the property or I want to upgrade it or whatever, who's going to stop him?
You're quite right. So there's all the details to be worked out yet. So Generation Rent and other renter groups will be working with the government very closely on that. This won't happen immediately. It's going to take some time for the details to be worked out, the legitimate grounds for repossession. We would want to see that any of those grounds have to be proved. So if there's a ground introduced for repossession for sale, then the landlord should have to prove that they really do intend to sell. So it's not like opening a back door to revenge evictions.
I suppose as far as the availability of affordable homes is concerned, there might be an argument that this is going to be counterproductive, because if landlords can't manage their property as they would like, they may say, well, I'm going to look for other options.
Well, if landlords decide to sell up because they don't want to offer a long-term home to tenants, then that's okay. They're either going to sell to another landlord who is comfortable providing a long-term home, or they will sell up and a first-time buyer will be able to get onto the housing market.
They might just find another use for the property.
Possible, but that's also a reason why we also have to look at things like restricting Airbnb and short-term lets.
Exactly. I mean, people who are buying to rent, for example, you know, they're looking for an easy opportunity, somewhere to put their money. The more difficult it gets, the less likely they're going to do that, and then therefore those homes might not be available.
You're right. It's absolutely critical that we also look at regulation of short-term lets at this moment.
And is there any sign of the government doing that?
There has been some discussion about it. There are some MPs who are following this closely, like Karen Buck, and you know, they've been discussing it in Scotland, and I think that this is an issue that's going to come back. But still, this is a massive victory for renters right now, that has the potential to really change people's lives.
And just tell us briefly about Generation Rent. I mean, how many people do you think this is going to affect?
There's 5 million renters in England who this will affect, so this is a huge story for them. 1 in 4 families are now private renting. Again, for families with children, it's absolutely critical that you know where your home is and that your child can continue to go to the same school and so on. So it's a major, major win for private renters.
Hannah Slater, thank you very much indeed. Well, it's 8 years now since Libya's Colonel Gaddafi was deposed, and the country finds itself